Hi, I'm Empress Rose, and this is the sun. Ta-da! Happiness, clarity, joy, things coming to fruition. Yeah, lots of things happening. Nothing here, nothing to do here but enjoy. It's actually a very simple card. Happy, joy, clarity. And what is more exciting than clarity after all the moon card and all the confusion and all the crises? Clarity. That's what heaven is, I think. Whenever people talk about heaven, they talk about someday, I'll be able to understand and I'll be able to see, I'll get this whole clear view of what happened and why they did that. That is often a view of heaven that people have, is that when they get to see clearly and when they get full understanding, that is, to most of us, heaven. So let's check out our Kabbalah. I like it here. We've got this coming from Hod into Yesod. We've got the sun right here. So the sun is part of creation. We've got judgment and moon here, kind of, an assessment of creation. They're sort of parenthesizing the creation, but this is definitely still part of making something happen in the real world, part of the dream, right? And it's not over. We can still keep bouncing back around this whole situation until we go out through the actual birth canal, until we're actually here. We can still a lot can happen until we actually leave this thing and we get to the world card. So here's our sun card. It sits between the solar plexus, our sense of self, and our sense of creation here, and really part of the creative process. So this clarity, this seeing something, it is part of the creation. But it's this really crucial part. It's the part where it's actually here. It's actually created. We were actually able to, the seed was viable. The seed, we planted it. We planted the seed way back up here. We thought about planting. We went to the store. We did all the things, we bought the seeds. We got the seeds. Then we prepared the soil. And then we watered, and the seeds started growing. And then it grew and grew and grew. And then now we're here. Now our seeds made its own seeds, and it's sunflowers. So it's blooming. It's bloomed, not just bloomed. This would be more like the blooming area. It's not just bloomed, but it's making seeds now. It's preparing for the next cycle. So clear understanding. This tower here can reveal the truth. It can be a little bit harsh. Some of our versions of the tower had that mask being torn off. So the saying is, the truth can set you free, but first it's going to hurt like hell, or first it's going to destroy you before it sets you truly free. But there's relief, like what's ever happened here, whatever crisis here, we've come out of it. We see clearly now. The storm has passed. This is that nice clean air after the rains come through and clear out the air. This nice fresh air coming in here, and we can see clearly that sun. Here we just had the promise of the sun coming, or the promise of the dawn, that morning star here. Here we've got the actual dawn. We can see everything that happened the night before. The tables turned over in the backyard after the party that kind of ended in some disaster. Here it is all. We can see it all. It's clear. And we're kind of happy we did it in the end, right? So yeah, the heaven, the ability to see clearly, there's arrival, there's joy, there's so much beautiful energy with this card. It's called the happiest card in the deck. And there's sort of this, ta-da, this is it. It's real, it's here, right? If we were talking about this whole thing as like, the twinkle in the two people's eye, and then this whole creation of this critter, and then here it's being born, and here it's right in the process of being born. And this is that arrival of the baby. The child arrives. We have successfully co-created with the universe. Here, anybody's guess what was it, if, we knew we wanted to do this. Here, we did it. Not everybody gets that part as part of their journey, right? Sometimes we have to let projects go, and there are lots of cards to let us know and help nudge us in that direction. But so that's why this is such a happy card, is like, you did it. You co-created with the universe. It's here. It's arrived. It's real. There's real growth. And I love that we have the sunflowers almost in every deck about this, because sunflowers are so meaty. They're a meal. They're a gorgeous meal. They're so big, you can eat them. There's a lot of them, and you can see them sort of all spread out. There's a reason why this isn't like the daisy represented here, because the daisy isn't that meaty. This is real. The sunflower just has such a heaviness to it, a realness. It's the tallest flower. It's the biggest flower. It's maybe not the biggest, but it's the biggest flower you want to eat. And it's so real. It's so present. There's no wispiness about it. It's a flower of absolute grounded reality. So it is material happiness. So, and then there's also a sense of like everything you need to know, you know. Everything you need to know. You don't know everything, but everything you need to know about the situation, you know. We don't have any more high priestess of things being kept from you, possibly for your own good. We don't have any more moon card of like, well, maybe you know, maybe you don't know. What do you really know? And how do you feel about it? None of that. Like, this is starting to be sort of the end of our book, and now the surprise twist has been revealed. We know what happens to all the characters. We're starting to wrap things up here. We're starting to, you know, how at the end of the book they'll be like, and so went off. They'll have like a couple paragraphs about so-and-so, and then a couple paragraphs about what happens to so-and-so, and then a couple paragraphs about what happens to so-and-so, and then a couple paragraphs about the dog. And so it all, you know, it's the wrap up. And so here, you know, what happens, what everyone goes on to do, how they continue on with their lives. There's no more to tell, right? The story's done. There's really no more to tell. So for our purposes, when we go to talk about the judgment card, let's talk about like, this is, you're turning in the paper here. You don't have any more research to do. You don't have any more to figure out. You're turning in your thesis here. You did it. You're done. You finished this whole process of coming up with the topic you were going to write about, doing a bunch of research, having to go back and do more research, realizing that your thesis was idiotic, and you have to go back and revise a bunch of stuff and do more research, and then like your computer broke down and you had to get more printer ink, and the place was closed, so you had to drive across town. That's your tower there. To go to the one place that's open late to get printer ink. I guess you can just like email your professors now. It's not the olden days where if you ran out of printer ink, you were just screwed. Anyway, but all of this is done. And you've done all of it, and now you're turning in the paper. Or you're a lawyer and you rest your case all to the jury. All the research has been done. All of the backstory told. All your witnesses have come forward. Everything's come out that needs to come out in this court case. And so now this is you. I rest my case. The jury's going to recede. We'll see them again in the judgment card. So you've made the final offer on the house, right? You've made the, and now you're waiting for like, okay, this is as good as I can do. All my cards are out on the table, so to speak, and this is as good as I can do. So you're waiting for that response back. But this is everything. It's all out there now. The sun card is, you know, the inspection's been done on the house. You now know, and you can negotiate from there. But everything you need to know, you know. It's really happening. This is very encouraging. Getting this early on in a reading would be sort of like, yes, this can really happen. This has got legs in reality. It's got roots in reality. It can grow. So it comes after the moon, where we've wrestled with our inner demons. What can we know? What do we really know about the situation? How does that feel? Does that trigger us to know that there's a bunch we don't know? It comes after that. So we've asked to know. And then here it is, that ask of the universe. I want to know more. I want to see more clearly. It's come, right? And the moon said it would. The moon was that premonition. That moon was that vision, that intuition of the future. And then now here, you know, we thought there might be something weird with the plumbing in the house, just the way the basement smelled a little bit. And then here we have the inspection coming back with like, oh, there's water in them walls. You're going to need to, you know, and now we can negotiate from a place where all the cards are out on the table. Everybody knows the same things about this house or this negotiation or whatever. And now we can finish this up here. So we asked to see the truth, and here's the answer. We got a very clear answer. To see this means that things aren't being hidden from you. You're not being lied to. It's a really, and that's heaven too, right? Knowing that you can trust what you see. Of course, it's tarot. We're taking it under advisement, and we're doing we're taking it under advisement. We're trusting but verifying. But this is a really good sign. This is a really good sign. So in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, we've got a material happiness. We've got this red banner here talking about reality, talking about that root chakra, it's real, it's physical, it exists. And it's the banner of that. So it's sort of foretelling, yes, this is real. Yes, you are going to get there. Oh, and if we're talking about our road trip to Arches, there you see it. The sign to Moab, the sign to Arches National Park, there it is. You made it, you're here, you're actually here, you actually made it. This is so exciting. There's also a sense of, you can almost hear this baby like, ta-da, I'm here. Or ta-da, here's my gymnastics routine. I did this whole gymnastics routine and now the judges are gonna, weigh in. But this is what I got, I did it. Yeah, and then we have the sunflowers here. So these sunflowers, very excited. But it's a walled garden, right? So they're in a protected space. This is something that you co-created with the universe and it was protected. We don't always know what's going to come to fruition, what's not going to come to fruition. So this is a very exciting card as far as yeah, it's coming to fruition. It's here. This baby is being born here. This baby is arriving and it's been protected. It's been, this was the will of the divine to bring this in, to have this happen, to have these grow. You had a co-creator here. This is sort of, in a way, the divine, our divine here on this planet, making all life happen. And nothing happens without that sun seeing it or being part of it, right? All life goes back to that. So yeah, manifest. Yep. And there's a sense of the child arrives, and no matter which way the child arrives, either through adoption or through the foster system, whatever arrival, we have this baby born naturally, born by C-section, born whatever way. Nobody cares at the point, or should care at the point, that this being actually is here. It's just so exciting, and you welcome it, and there's nothing left to do here except enjoy. That's all that we've got left. And then we have this card, which I love because this is from the Muse deck. It really pulls in the solar plexus coming into reality through this, the sacrum, and then into the root chakra. The actual entering into this part of the journey is done. We are over here. It is completed. The completion, and really part of that. And it shows up in the colors of this card. And even just this is like this sort of opening, this cervix opening, this birth canal opening to allow the birth of something. And then I love it too. I don't know if you can see her solar plexus. Her solar plexus is totally lit up here. This is part of who she is. And she's brought it into reality. Her mind and body have become one in this co-creation. Everything's lined up, right? Her mind, this is a recreation of what she envisioned in her mind. A little different as it will be, because we're co-creating, we're working as a team, we're co-creating. But this vision that we had way up here, here it is coming into fruition right here. And it has to do with this solar plexus, with this core part of who she is, her sense of self. And it's coming into fruition, and it's coming in here. So very optimistic, prepared to receive the reality is a lot of what this is. And this is too, like, it's coming, it's here. And this is like preparing yourself to receive, preparing her mind in some ways to receive what is coming, what she's created, right? Because sometimes we can want something and work towards something, and then when it comes, we kind of freak out, or we don't recognize it as the thing that we asked for specifically. It can come in a different form because it's a co-creation. So our co-creator may have tweaked a few things while we were out for lunch, and so it may not look exactly the way we thought it was going to look. But this is this sense of what you envisioned is here in reality, and it's echoing both your vision and your solar plexus, all lining up for that. So, and it's about being very optimistic about something being real and something happening in reality. And then we have the Santa Muerte deck. So this one too, Again, we have the sunflowers. It's this big growth, this big, beautiful growth. And then I like to think of these as the musicians from the Devil card that were not free. And here they're fully free. And here they're sort of the troubadours singing of their whole adventure. This whole adventure, you know, who knows what order you did all of this in, and you pinged along in here. And here they are singing the glorious song that they learned. What was that quote? Like, what we learn in pain, we sing in song, something like that. It's, you know, we sing about like these really painful things, we make songs out of them and make them very lovely experiences in that process. So here they are, they're singing about the freedom, they're singing about the growth, they're singing about, their long journey and how they're here now, they're free now, and they're happy. And these sunflowers are so sustaining. We've got a bluebird of happiness. We've got the sun here. And these sunflowers really, like this one, we had some accidental overachievement on one part here. We really, really exceeded expectations. So I love the feeling that these musicians from the Devil card are free now and they made it out somehow. They released themselves of their addictions. They released themselves of you know, these harsh, imprisoning beliefs or activities. And then we have this one from the Matt Hughes deck. I love how she's like cradling the sun. She's worshiping the sun. Look at what these two, they may have had a little bit of a relationship here, co-creating her and the divine, our divine here on this planet, what brings all life out here, co-creating these little sunflowers. They almost look like parents looking down on their co-creations, these realities, these sunflowers that they've created. And she's so happy and proud of what these two together have created. And then we have, from the mystical moments, we have you as the sun, having absorbed all of this energy, radiant in your success. So we have this bird here that's sort of representing, and there's a little bit of a shadow. You may not be fully ready to receive this wonderful gift or this wonderful bounty, but whatever clouds your vision, it's moving on. This bird is in full flight. It's moving very quickly. So whatever like issues there might be, they're not that big of a deal. They'll be water off a duck's back. They're just going to move forward. So whatever obstacles there are, they're quickly clearing. They're small, and they're quickly clearing obstacles. So if there are any, don't worry about it. You're on your way to full radiance, perfect happiness. Prepare your mind and be very optimistic. Maybe it hasn't fully arrived yet, but this would be like, be optimistic about it. And then this one, again, we have the sunflowers, and you get a strong sense of them being fully very meaty. And I love how sunflowers are so tall. They're almost like human height here, and they have these big heads like we do. And they're like this full human height. So again, they occupy that space, as above, so below. They're, you know, co-created from us and the sun, and they have this like height and beauty and meatiness to them, and just this heavy realness to them. And I feel that in this depiction from the Good Tarot, a very productive sunflower, abundance. Sunflowers are very abundant, lots of seeds. The biggest flower, the tallest flower, and sort of this co-creation between us and the divine. And then we have the Forhasa, love and support for a dream. This is, again, the divine, our sun god here, sharing this, bequeathing us with this growth magic called sunshine, this magical growth component, this elixir of growth called sunshine, bequeathing that to you. Growing here in the forest and helping you grow and helping you achieve the heights you knew you could achieve and that you wanted to achieve. So, and then there's a sense too of the spotlight. Be seen here. Allow yourself to be seen. Allow these blessings to find you, and allowing yourself to be seen. Connecting to the source, connecting to creator. There's such a strong connection with this card to creation and source and and being co-creators. That's really the main thing, is that you have been, at this point, you have successfully co-created something with the universe. And then with our apparition, we have the gymnasts. This was like a joint endeavor. You did like some joint gymnastics together, you and the sun, and some ribbon dancing, some dual ribbon dancing, you and the sun. And it's just this ta-da. You know how gymnasts do that when they're done. They're like, oh, yes, I did it. And now we have the judgment card coming up, where we're going to actually get our scores back for what we did. But co-creation has occurred. You did it. You're done with your routine. Now we await the judge's decision. So in the reverse, we have like pretty satisfied, maybe not like ta-da, but like, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied. Or we can also have like confusion, negativity. We can have a stalled sort of confusion, you know, as in like foggy. It's not clear. There's a lot of confusion. We can have negativity in that it's dark, it's not sunny. So this can be depression, this can be a lack of clarity, this can be depression, confusion, being sort of stuck in the dark. This can also be a little bit of like I want to say a stillbirth, or it's not coming together. You're not able to co-create with this, and that's going to be okay. You'll take whatever lessons from that to your next co-creation. You're going to take whatever you learned there to the next thing. So not everything can come together seamlessly and functionally every single time we attempt, right? So not all of our seeds are going to sprout, and some that do, you know, aren't necessarily gonna grow in a way that's productive. So and then similar cards in the minor arcana would be like the Ten of Cups has this like, this happy moment. There's a rainbow, again, with the sun, happiness after difficulty. The sun's present in that rainbow. Ten of Pentacles, you know, we've achieved something, we've acquired something, we've finished. Even the Ten of Wands and Ten of Swords can have a little bit of a relief at the end of a difficult process. And then what needs to be seen is seen. So with the Ten of Wands and Ten of Swords, there's the whole truth is out. There's no more painful situations coming in. So there's a sense of relief, not necessarily a sense of ta-da, we made it, but a sense of like, well, we know what needs to be known now. There's no more suffering coming. There's no more lies coming. There's no more burden coming. So at least there's that. So it's a little more subdued on this. But the Sun, happiest card in the deck. Hope that was helpful.